All right, this is a quick introduction to the four kind of payers and the four tools that make them pay. So if you think about your patients and tenants and customers and clients in four buckets, this will make a lot of sense to you. Think about it. You've got the faithful. We love these folks. You send them one bill, bam, they pay it. We love them. They're paying the bills around there, right? The next bucket you got is what you might call the undisciplined or the messy. That is to say, we love them, they mean well, they're going to pay you eventually, so they need some reminder nudges, right? Phone calls, past due letters, they need something. Um, Next group is what you might call the disrespectful or the stubborn. That is to say, these are folks that, well, they've got two stacks of bills and you're in the second stack. They know they owe you, you've sent them plenty of bills, you've given them plenty of reminders, and they don't care. They're going to pay you whenever they kind of feel like it. And the only way to uproot that disrespect and reestablish respect is to bring what we call third-party impact. That is to say, you've got to, they've got to hear from a lawyer. They've got to hear from a licensed collection agency, from your mom, right? So they've got to hear from somebody, because the normal way of sending a bill and sending a friendly call, reminder, voicemail, none of that's working. So you gotta escalate it to the next level. Last one, you can call them professional debtors. Some people call them thieves. That is to say that these are people that frankly never intended to pay you. Whether they think, gosh, I'm just going to see what insurance does. Hey, I've seen what that business owner drives. I'm not going to pay him. He's got plenty of money. Or look, a lot of people just go around from place to place, maybe make a deposit, use up as much of your stuff as they can, and then they move on to the next place. It's how it works sometimes. So to get these guys to pay, you've got to get professional collectors on the phone, Guido, so to speak, to give them a call and do skip tracing, asset discovery, etc., etc. Basically, turn up the heat. So the Transworld way is what we call an escalated four-stage approach to collections. Okay, and what I mean by that is that the typical company will have a two-stage approach to collections. That is, you send a few statements, maybe make some phone calls, right? You probably do this now. Customers know they owe, they don't care, many never pay. A lot of times you spend too much time and money chasing past due accounts. A lot of times you're just too busy to call everybody, so many people never get a call. It's very expensive, of course, to chase people down. Dartnell Institute says the average cost to collect a past due account is over $31. Depending on how long you chase it. At some point you give up, you go to a collection agency, which is going to only collect 5 or 10% of the money, about 7% on average. Then they're going to want 25, 30, 40% of the money. Of course, it ticks people off. So that's a two-stage approach to collections. Our four-stage approach to collections is this. Send a bill yourself. Easy. Once they've done that, there's no reason to keep sending them bill after bill after bill without escalating it. So the next level is to send reminders. Whether you want to do it yourself and pay staff, you certainly may. Our philosophy is to use this tool called Accelerator, which I'll explain in a moment. The big idea here is, why are you paying humans to do what technology can easily do faster, better, and cheaper? So that basically you can pay your humans to do what technology can't do, which is build relationships, which is take those inbound phone calls, which is post payments to your software, etc., etc. So you got send a bill, first notification, then send reminders, then do collection demands using our profit recovery, then get intensive with our verbal and legal collections. So it's a four-stage approach. It ramps up little by little, increasing the heat. Let me explain these real quick. Accelerator is what we call friendly first-party reminders. Okay. This is used when chasing past due accounts. It takes too much time or it's too expensive, but you want your money faster with less effort. There's nothing magic here. Okay, all we're doing is sending out a series of letters and phone calls, which frankly you could do yourself. We can just typically do it cheaper than you can. And what we're doing here is between, let's say, the 30 to 60 day period, or 60 to 90 day, whenever you do it, whenever you turn it on, you've got a 30-day period there. Well, we're going to make a friendly reminder about once a week. Watch this. It's first party. That means they think it's you. Okay? What we're doing there is we're creating a sense of urgency. All we're doing is kind of giving them a nudge each week in that second critical month. Okay? You only use this tool on the accounts you choose at the age you choose, and once you turn it on, it's fully automatic. You get to turn it on and forget about it. Okay. So let me show you what these look like. So here's what one of the letters looks like. It's a very professional layout. Basically, we have your contact info here. They literally think this came out of your software. Okay. They don't even know we're involved. We'd have their contact info, how much they owe. Look at this. It's very friendly language. This is just like a reminder letter, right? Dear Joe Smith, thank you. We sincerely appreciate your business and trust you're satisfied. Unfortunately, the above referenced account is now past due and requires your attention. Please remit to put your payment with the lower portion of this letter in the envelope provided. Down here, a little voucher. If you feel there's an error, please contact us as soon as possible. See, they think this is you. It's got your address, your phone number. The big idea here is all money comes into you. You've got the relationships. You can handle the payments. You can handle the payment arrangements. We're just doing the outbound chasing work, which we find that if you ask your staff, more than likely they don't like making those phone calls. A lot of times they never get around to it. If they do, they'll only work the list once, and they really don't have more time to work more of the list. And so the idea here is if we can make multiple contacts about once a week to play the squeaky wheel, so to speak, then you'll get paid faster. Period. That's it. So here's the key question. How much more money could you bring in if your process was more consistent and automated? You think you'd bring in 20% more, 30%, 50% more? If we could make 5 contacts in a month where your staff maybe makes 1 or 2 contacts, how much more money could we bring in? Another one is, are other parts of your business being neglected because your staff's tied up chasing people? That is, what else could your staff do that only humans can do that you need them doing, right? That we could free them up using technology to do those tasks. Let me show you what this looks like. And one of the hardest industries to collect, which is medical. This is an aggregate of what we call our MGMA accelerator results. So MGMA is a huge association of doctor administrators, medical administrators. And so just to show you, they've been using this for 14 plus years, and average balance is about $300. Average age, see, it's too old. It's really 90 days. They need to be turning this stuff over really like 30 or 60 days. But even at 90 days old, they've turned over about $11 million to 11.5, and we've got over 3.5. That's a 30% response rate. So this is just low-hanging fruit. These are people that mean to pay. They're probably gonna pay if you bug them enough. But simply turning this tool on, we got them to pay sooner, faster, instead of waiting another 60 or 90 days. We got them to do it sooner. So the days in AR is dramatically reduced. So that's about 30%. I've seen this in other industries, in plumbing, electricity, banks, security, fitness, etc. And we've seen recovery rates literally up to 80%. So it really all just depends on which industry you're in. Okay, now there's the next one. So this is profit recovery. All right, so that is to say some bills had been sent out, they ignored them. Some friendly reminders were sent out, they ignored them. Okay, we have now cleared out of the queue everyone who meant well. We're now only have the stubborn. Now it's time to do the one thing you can't do, which is a licensed collection agency. It's also time to do the one thing that the typical hardball agency that you probably have been using refuses to do. We actually contact every single account you send us. If you don't know, the dirty little secret in the collection world is that for those commission-based percentage agencies, they don't call everybody. They don't have enough time. They just go after the big balances, the earliest balances, people with the best credit. And so we're going to say license agency, and we're going to do it to every single account you turn over. So let me explain this. We call this diplomatic third-party soft collections. Okay? This is used when first-party contacts are being ignored, your bills and reminders. You want third-party impact to reestablish respect for your bill, but you don't want to use a hardball agency, and you don't want to give up a percentage just yet. All right? So the goal here, again, is just create a sense of urgency. We're going to say licensed collection agency. Everything stays the same. You only turn this on for the tool, for the people you want, at the age you want, all that stuff, right? And again, why pay 30% of your money when you can pay a flat fee? Right? There's no reason to use a percentage-based agency at this point. Let me explain what these look like. This may be a little small, but let me show you. Up here, it may be faded, but these 10 magic words. This has been sent to you by a collection agency. That's new. Right? Up to this point, they've just been calls, letters, bills. Actually, it says trans world. That's new. Now look, it's actually friendly. It starts as a courtesy notice. This is the friendliest collection letter you've ever seen. It says, our client has requested that we contact you regarding the above referenced account. That's it. We're just contacting you. Listen to this. We realize this amount could be an oversight on your part and not a willful disregard of an apparent obligation. Right? Oh, it's probably just a big mistake. Now, it's probably not. Right? But we figured a long time ago that you can gather more bees with honey than vinegar. We just called it a big mistake, help them save face. And look here, all money still comes to you. The phone number over here, that's still yours. Right? All money still comes to you. Phone calls still come to you. So again, can we just still use calls and letters? Nothing magic about that. What we're going to do, change two things. One, we're going to say collection agency, and two, we don't stay nice forever. We start nice, the next one's a little tougher, the next one's a little tougher, the next one's tougher. We're going to start ramping it up. Again, we're trying to uproot that disrespect. Let me show you MGMA results again. Again, same industry. So this is medical. Average age, $400. Average age now is 6 months, 6 months old. They've turned over about half a billion to it, a little bit more than that. We've resolved about 200 million. So look at this, accounts responding. Almost 40% of the accounts turned over to us are responding. So about 30% of the money came in. About 40% of them are at least calling in or paying or something. Do you see how that works? Again, you might think, but I don't get it, Brad. It's just calls and letters. That's right. There's no magic in the calls and letters. The issue is using the right tool at the right time. You've got a bill, right, for early notification. Then you've got reminders. Then you've got soft collection demands. Then it's time to get intensive. So for the few that still haven't paid, the last phase is what we call verbal or legal collections. Sometimes people just call it trans-world collections. This is used when all attempts to collect the debt have failed, but the money still can and needs to be recovered. Okay, so now it's time to get live people involved. Do skip tracing. A lot of people want to disappear, so we got to find them. Do asset discovery, right? This is really cool. It's a little creepy, but it's really neat too. Basically, what we do here is we can find out all sorts of financial information on somebody so that when they're complaining, oh man, I don't have $300, I can't pay that. We'll say, ma'am, well, I can see right here that you've got these 4 credit cards with an open balance of about $2,000. We can just knock out this $300 debt on this Visa right here that ends in 1364. They are busted. They realize that the sob story that they've been using with you ain't going to work anymore. So anyway, it's very interesting. It's just a very professional conversation. There's no reason to be Guido or be too aggressive. We're simply going to have a professional conversation and see if they're willing to give us the money. It's that simple. At this point, it's not a flat fee. It is a 50-50 split. The idea there is basically it's second paper, and it's harder to work. They've already ignored collection demands, and so this is simply harder money to get, and it takes a lot of work. Of course, all of this is free unless we collect. Big question here is, isn't 50% of something better than 100% of nothing? So there you go. You've got the 4-stage approach. If you want to see that laid out in days, let's say you were a typical company using the typical billing cycle. First, you would send out your statement. Then at about 30 days, you would turn on the friendly reminders. They would get one of those about once a week. Then at about 70 days, they'd start getting the soft collection demands. They get one of those about every 10 days. And then verbal demands finally starts up at about 120 days. That's what the whole thing looks like. So that's what you need to think about when you're using the 4 tools and you're entering in your accounts. And it's really that simple. Thanks for using us.